Welcome, thank you for joining me. My name is Bjorn. Today we're going to be looking at, I made this build immediately after I made the one that I thought was like Genji. So this is going to be the counterpart to being Hanzo. Again, like Genji, this is a very simple build, very straightforward. Take this as you will, build up your own backstory, build up your own, claim this as your own. It'd be much more satisfying than playing edgelord fucking Hanzo. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so for the quick build, I'm just gonna show this here. I ended off with Arcane Archer Fighter 12 and Assassin Rogue level 8. Very similar to how it ended off with the Genji build, where he went up to Fighter 12, but instead of Genji, he went more into Cleric. With this, I felt it was pretty nice. I really like how this build plays out. Now, because there is a bit of multi-classing, it's going to require us to have a dexterity of 13 at least. This character is an archer, because Hanzo. You can play it out as something else if you'd like, but archer for myself. So either for fighter, we're going to need a strength of 13 or a dexterity of 13, and for rogue, we will be needing a dexterity of 13. So as you can see, the multi-classing requirements, they overlap with themselves, and it really lends itself to being a dexterity build. Now for the race choice, I had a harder time. I kind of wanted to keep it similar, if not relatable to the original character, but that doesn't really matter. You play whatever race you want. I ended off with a variant human here. That way, in my head, they could still be related in some way, but that's my own personal continuity. Also with this, of course, with the human variant, it gives us a feat, a skill, and 2 ASI choices. For the feat, I decided to go with the prodigy feat. Now with this, we gain a skill increase. I decided to take the insight. For the tool choice, I decided to go with the poisoner's kit immediately. I really like the idea of just poisoning our shit right off the bat. And for language undercommon, I figure we might be going there here and there. And then for our skill that we turn into an expertise, I decided to go and bump it up into stealth. Now, the skills of choice here that I chose, of course, was stealth originally. If not, we wouldn't have been able to have this as an option. For the ASI choice increase, I decided to go with a dexterity increase. Just get that dexterity from an 18 to 19 in this case. And I felt like this character would be quite charismatic in the fact that he was brought up to be a leader. He was brought up to bring that order to his criminal organization, but that's up to you. Go with whatever you want. And of course, languages, pick whatever you want. I just went with Elvish here. Now before we jump into the class, I decided to go with a background called the Inheritor. This gives me the survival and the history or religion choice. I decided to go with history. It felt appropriate that we are inheriting the criminal organization again, but again, make your own backstory, claim it as your own, talk with your DM, see if something can't fit. Tools, up to you. Languages, I went with Sylvan because why not? Now jumping into class, we are going to start off with the fighter class. This is going to give us the most proficiencies, of course, being able to use every weapon, every set of armor. I suggest using studded leather armor because this character is going to be a stealth build, and having such high dexterity, it lends itself to it. So for proficiencies, I decided to go with acrobatics and perception. Perception because we are an archer. It makes sense to me that we should be able to see shit far off into the distance. And acrobatics because we have such a high dexterity. Fighting style, if it wasn't obvious at this point, I've decided to go with archery of this build. We gain second wind, accent surge at level 2, and then by the time we finally get to level 3, we get to choose our martial archetype. So that martial archetype, of course, is the Arcane Archer. I really like this archetype. It seems pretty fucking cool. So let's go ahead and look at some of the Arcane Shot options. So for the first two that we get to choose, I decided to go with the Shadow Arrow. This is pretty nice. It's just a consistent amount of damage that we can do. That's psychic damage. Also with the fact that it can possibly blind somebody by only limiting them up to 5 feet. It's a neat ability. I more so wanted to just have the consistent damage. We only have 2 shots at this level, so I'd rather focus on just having pure damage output for both of these with the Shadow and the Bursting Arrow. That way we consistently have that 2d6 and it just hits. Of course, at the 7th level Arcane Archer option, I suggest going with Seeker Arrow. Might be a bit fitting if you want to go with the Scatter Arrow before that got taken away. That might be befitting. And I also really like the Enfeeblement Arrow. It's the 10th level option, being able to deal extra damage as necrotic damage, and to also half any damage that it's doing. This could be very, very powerful at later levels. So yeah, that is the Arcane shot options. Let's go ahead and look at the ASI. Pretty easy choice, going with Sharpshooter at level 4. Heavily benefits, of course, playing with a longbow. Makes sense. 5th level, we gain our first extra attack. This is beautiful. And I also brought this up to a 12th level, as similar with the Genji build that we can attack, attack, and attack. And I really like that we can do a rapid succession of attacks with our extra attacks here. Now for a 6th level ASI, I decided to go with the feat, and in this feat I decided to take the athlete feat, and that's pun not intended. Alright, so with this we get to increase our dexterity by 1, so 18 base, 19 race, plus this, we're at level 20 with our dexterity in this make-believe. I rolled an 18 finally. And this is an interesting ability here at 7th level when we gain Magic Arrow. Whenever we fire a non-magical arrow from a short bow or long bow, you can make it magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damages. The magic fades from the arrow immediately after it misses or hits its target. So the thing that's interesting with this is that whenever we've played archers before, generally if somebody has a bow that is magical, we then apply that magicness, yes, so I'm gonna go with that, the magicness onto the ammunition that fires. That way we can just overcome that fact that the archers don't need to invest into like a shit ton of whatever, I guess. Like I've never really thought of it. Like we've always just kind of like considered that the bow itself was the source of magic and it imbued it. I guess if you were needing magical ammunition beforehand in order to overcome this effect without, you know, having the bow count as a magic item itself, like this is extremely useful. But generally, you know, most games it's always been, for myself at least, the bow itself being magical applies onto the arrows. It was just like a quality of life thing that I guess we did, but yeah, this is still beneficial to us. Also, 7th level, we gain Curving Shot. So, we learn how to direct an errant arrow toward a new target. When we make an attack roll with a magic arrow and miss, you can use a bonus action to re-roll the attack roll against a different target within 60 feet of the original target. So this is Scattershot. You get Scattershot, because why not? Fucking Christ. At 8th level, we take a new feat. I decided to go with the Martial Adept feat. This is an amazing feat to have. I really like taking the Disarming attack and the Evasive Footwork. Evasive Footwork is personal survivability, and Disarming attack really benefits the group. Or you can, of course, go with any number of these. That's up to you. 9th level, we gain our Indomitable skill, which is, of course, very useful. Being able to reroll something in which could be life or death for us, which, you know, good for us. 11th level, we gain our final extra attack that we're going to be taking away from this character. And at 12th level, we gain a new ASI. I decided to go with Mage Slayer again. Again, with this ability to attack, possibly action surge, attack, deal a lot of damage, you know, be giving someone that disadvantage on 6 shots. That's 12 rolls for them to fail their concentration spell. And this is where we leave the Arcane Archer fighter alone, and we go into the Assassination Rogue. You could go into Assassination Rogue probably sooner if you really want to get sneak attack or the bonus action to hide and all that shit. But I really like to get up to that second extra attack there. That way we can have our 3 extra attacks, and I just like attacking things and hitting hard personally, but this is up to you. So with the Assassination Rogue, we gain a new proficiency. I decided to go with Intimidation because I feel like perhaps by this time my story has been somewhat addressed or resolved, and I've needed to become a bit more harsh or cruel in my ways and intimidate the shit out of people, so I like that feature. And also we gain some expertise. I decided to go with Acrobatics and Perception here, lending itself again to that Archer feel of being able to see shit, track shit in the distance, and being able to climb across rooftops or whatever. Of course, we gain our Sneak Attack at this level. At 8th level Rogue, I believe, we end off with a 4d6 or 5d6 level 8, which is pretty decent, and that's a consistent damage that we're going to be able to have. This way that, the thing that I don't like with the Arcane Archer is that even though we can, we get all these extra attacks, the Arcane Shot, we can't use it all too often. I felt like we had to use it quite sparingly, so along with, the Arcane Shot, we're going to now be able to use our sneak attack and stealth and make use of actually being able to do more consistent damage and not needing to rely upon the Arcane Shots. The very nice thing too of this class is that once we get up to 3rd level, we gain the Assassinate ability. So if we get the drop on somebody, of course we have advantage on the attack, they haven't taken a turn, all of a sudden it's a critical hit. So in this turn we gain, that critical damage from our sneak attack, from our base weapon damage, but then we can also gain the sneak attack bonus from any of our arcane shots. So that's another additional 2d6, I believe, that we can add on to our Arcane Shot options here. Here we go. So yeah, so that's an additional 2d6 right there. So it's kind of like building up an additional sneak attack onto it, and it's pretty nice. It really adds that this character does a shit ton of, it's just a bursty fucking character. Of course, we gain some bonus proficiencies as well. I like these. We gain proficiency with the Disguise kit and the Poisoner's kit. So I mean, there's if you wanted to wait for the Poisoner's kit earlier on, you can hold off and go with a different tool. But I really like the idea that from earlier on I was working with poisons, and this ties me into the rogue. That was my idea with it. But of course, you take this character, claim it as your own, do what you will. And of course, what would this build be without the Lucky feat? Lucky's awesome. Reroll 3 times a day, whatever you want. Not much more to say about that. At 5th level, we gain the Uncanny Dodge. This is awesome. This is why you may want to dip into Rogue sooner. This way you can gain the benefits of Uncanny Dodge and possibly Evasion earlier on. This way you can reduce incoming damage towards yourself. 6th level Expertise, I decided to go with Insight and Intimidation, furthering those role-playing aspects of this character. And I was saying at 7th level, we gain Evasion. This is a beautiful and annoying ability, but yeah, this is amazing. 8th level and final feat, I decided to go with the Mobile feat because I really like to be able to move around on this character. 10 extra feet is huge. Alright, now that we're back here, just do a quick overview. We have our deck set to a +5, and all these other stats are pretty decent, but again, good luck on your rolls. Wish you the best of that. As we can see, this character is a bit more skilled than the Genji character originally was. I like that this person, they felt like they had to possibly take on responsibility. If you want to go with that, maybe you could, one player could have this type of play style, then the other could be with that, and you could that's up to you. I'm not telling you to make the backstory completely the same, or even it could be whatever. Make your own backstory. It's so much more fun. And also with this, of course, with being Expertise and so much more, and it feels fitting towards a more of a leader aspect, which I like a lot. But yeah, so we gain a whole bunch of different actions that we can do: Cunning Action, Curving Shot, Second Wind. We get Attack, Action Search, 3 more attacks. It's crazy. So yeah, just like with the Genji, the Fallen Dragon build there. Very simple build, very, you're focused very much on bursting damage and just raw output. This character doesn't have as much versatility in the sense of that they can heal or cast too many spells, I believe. The spells that they do cast are through their Arcane Archer shots. But yeah, so it's a pretty simple build and very, very nice to play out, I think. With that, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and taken away some inspiration to possibly build out your own character and come up with your own backstory and have fun with your group. And as always, have a great day. And bye-bye.